All right, so we're still looking at the Ebola scare and education about Ebola in the country. This afternoon, I have in the studio the PR of the Ministry of Health, Tony Goodman. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Thanks for coming into the studio.
My pleasure.
Now, we went out to speak to people to find out if we're even aware about the three emergency lines that you've made available. And some of them did mention that they weren't even aware of those numbers. Others are saying that digits are too long for them to have in memory or keep in memory. Is it that education hasn't gone down well?
Yeah, thank you very much. Education starts from you. We've given you the information to send to them. Most of them are aware. The number of calls we've received from Ghanaians tells us that a lot of people are aware. As to whether the numbers are short or long, I believe this is an emergency number we need to keep seriously. If you are scared of something, you need to keep a security in check. You need to get that number and then be able to memorize that and use. The reason why we're using that number, we don't want to use any of the telcos where you can't trust the credibility of some of the things that will go. This is a national issue, and then we need to use national security lines. So those lines are national security lines, and then those numbers can be trusted. You can be sure of whatever is going to happen there. So that is why we're using those numbers. They should bear with us.
Now, you going back to education, we're playing our role. That's why we have you in the studio. But how are you getting the information out there as a ministry?
Thank you very much. We're tackling this from three thematic areas. We are looking at public education and then publicity campaign. We're looking at case management and also looking at protecting our borders. We've done enough when it comes to education. We've visited mosques, churches.
Are you sure you've done enough? Would you say it is enough? We still have people who are saying that they don't have enough information.
In communication, it's always like that. The more you send information out there, the more people tell you we are not aware or we need more of those. So we understand and we are not relenting on our effort. We will continue to drum home the message of keeping our surroundings clean, personal hygiene, telling people what to look out for, the symptoms and signs, telling people what to do when it comes to when we have Ebola. When you have symptoms, the only thing you need to do, quickly rush to a nearby facility. That is where the authenticity of whatever you're saying can be confirmed. So those are the things we keep telling people. A lot of Ghanaians are aware. I tell you, a lot of Ghanaians
but are you satisfied when you tell me that a lot more Ghanaians are aware?
We cannot go and sleep if we don't even know or not sure of what is happening in other countries and how the disease pattern and where it's moving to. We are not relaxing at all. We are moving out there, trying our best to make sure that this information gets to the people. They are not telling you that they are not aware of the disease, but they say they are not aware of the
emergency number. Yes.
That tells you that they are aware of the disease.
But not everybody has that information. You making it look as if or sound you are a bit satisfied with where we've gotten to or where the work the ministry has done so far. But if you should scan about 10 people, there might be one amongst the 10 who tell you that I've had some information about Ebola. That's just an example I'm giving. But that's not to say that's the situation on the ground.
No, maybe the next, what do you call that part of your news? Is it what do you know?
What do you think?
What do you think? What you need to do is to go out and ask people what they know about Ebola, and then
we've done that severally, and we've had interesting comments and answers. Some don't even know the name; they call it Deborah, Ebola. We've had several names.
They know
but
that
the
there is something like
out
that.
There is still scanty.
No, we will continue to educate Ghanaians about it.
And yesterday we carried a news item where you did mention that 2 of the lines are off. Why are they off, and when?
We're off.
We're off. Yeah. So does it mean that they're working now?
Yeah, they're working now.
So if I should pick one of the numbers, we even have them on our screens now. If I should pick one of the numbers and call, what happens?
You would have somebody who will respond to the number and ask if you have any emergency, and then whatever there is to do, the person will tell you to. But because we don't have a case yet where people are just misusing the number, let's agree to that. People just call and just make
Prank calls?
Yeah, just funny comment and just cut the line. If you are in charge of that particular line, you also be upset because this is an emergency
But you
situation.
shouldn't, because that's why you have the phone to educate people.
Yes, but I'm telling you that that line is not meant for jokes. It's a serious thing we are dealing with. And I keep saying that they should go to those countries and see what is happening. They will stop some of those things and really take it seriously.
If I should give you an example, I live at Kaneshi or Kaswa, and I pick one of the numbers and I call that I can see a suspected case, or I know someone who is reacting or is in this state or this condition, and it looks like an Ebola case. What happens?
Yeah, what we're doing is that we're using the structures. If you call me from any other region, what we'll do is we quickly call the regional director. The regional director will call the district director. District director will move on. There are sub district facilities, and then they will quickly move on to see whatever the situation is, and then advise accordingly.
Okay. And then, so it is this to say that these three lines are for, it's a national line?
These are national lines.
There's a national line.
Yeah.
And concerns again about the digits 10. Are we looking at getting a short code? Is the ministry looking at something like this?
Now we'll talk to the Ministry of Communication and National Security. We see how best they can make that available. But if there isn't any possibility, then we have to make do with what we have now. As I told you, these are state lines, and then we have to respect those lines.
Okay. Now, still on health, we did mention early on that Cabinet has approved a 35 million euro facility for the construction of additional 15 polyclinics in the Central and Greater Accra regions, and 10 of the polyclinics will be constructed in the Central region, while the remaining 5 will be situated in the Greater Accra region. Can we have the locations and where they will be?
Yeah, thank you very much. We in the ministry are grateful to Cabinet for passing this, and then we will continue to at least put up new polyclinics across the region. We've done 5 in Upper West, 5 in Northern region.
Let's focus on the current ones. The 15.
Yes, I'm just giving you the background. 5 in Bronga-Hafu. So this is additional. These are just additional ones to the ones we've already done. We're looking at 10 in Central region, 5 in Greater Accra, and then later we'll go to Western region with another 5. So what we're doing is to bridge the gap. There are areas where there are no facilities. Some there is, but they need a better higher facility.
If I should rudely cut you or quickly cut you, is the funds available, and when will the project start?
These are projects that we send to Cabinet for consideration. It will have to go to Parliament for approval. Immediately it's done, we'll go ahead with the construction of those hospitals. As in
immediately it's done, it will start?
Yeah.
And is there a duration?
Yes.
Or till it's done?
No, the one we had in those regions are 2 years, some less than 2 years, yeah. 5 of them were all completed.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed, Tony Goodman. He is the PR of the Ministry of Health. We're looking at the Ebola emergency numbers and also the 15 polyclinics that will be established in Greater Accra and the Central region.